Hi, and welcome to Fabric Buys. It is December 2024, and this is my December 12 months of Christmas project. I actually did the prototype last month in November, and I do have a video on that if you'd like to check it out. This one just is a collection of different times that I filmed making this bag, and thought I'd go over some of the things that I did. So I was sewing these in batches. I did a batch of 3 and a batch of 4. And besides the prototype, and one of the things I decided to do after I did the prototype was go ahead and set up some templates to make it easier. So this is my 4-inch square that I've set up with a 2.5 and 2.5 inch marking using the masking painter's tape, because then I don't have to measure each time I do the corners. Here what I'm showing you is the first 3 bags I did and the prototype were all from the same fabric. And so each of those pieces, the inside and the outside, I cut them in sets of interior fabric and exterior fabric, even though it's reversible, so that's not truly inside or outside. But they matched up completely. And so in order to make sure I kept those together, I marked them using a different size clip. And so this one, the 2 green ones, meant that those 2 matched together, and then the 2 yellow ones here meant that those were the inside and outside or mated fabrics. And then also with the pink, those 2. And I made sure that those clips stayed on those bags until I was ready to actually sew those together, so that I knew that they matched, so that I knew they would fit together correctly. And then on each of the bags, I also decided to give it more structure by sewing up the sides and give them kind of a false seam on the sides. So the first thing you do is measure over and then you press. That was where I set up my second template, and I forgot to film it, but I just took 2 pieces of cardstock and cut them. It was 11 by about, I think it was 2 1/4 or 2 1/2, I can't remember now, but 2 1/4, and I set that on the seam, and that gave me a guide where I didn't have to measure the top and then the bottom of the seam and then press it in place. I could just set the cardstock on there and then press. So I did do the pockets the same way I've done in the past, and I actually think I'm going to film a short on this, but I pieced together the corners that I cut out to build the pockets, and then I decided that I wanted to have a little bit more trim. So in order to do that, I just cut the backing of that a little bit taller, and then you sew the top and the bottom, leaving the turning gap in the bottom. Press it really nicely, and then you can sew up the sides. And then from there, I had to decide whether or not, once it was turned around and right side out and ready to top stitch, I could look at it and see which side I really thought looked better. And that's the side that would end up going out. But I think I am going to put a short out on that too, so a little bit more details on that one. So these are the last 4 that I made so far. I probably will make some after Christmas some point in time. The tote, it's really easy to make a tote bag. I did add some more details to this one by adding the pockets first of all, but then also by taking those corner cutouts from the bag and creating pockets out of those, and not just using a solid piece of fabric. And then also adding that extra kind of false seam on the sides. That also took a little bit of extra time. I could have made them a lot quicker had I decided not to do those things, but I'm glad that I did. And again, there's no interfacing on these bags purposely, because since I was making them for Christmas, it's a really basic tote. I want them to be able to store really flat, and if I added like fusible fleece or batting to it, then it would be thicker, and so I opted not to do it, and I think they came out pretty nicely without it. So I really like how the fabric mated together on a lot of these bags as well. So I mean, this one actually particularly, I don't know if you can tell on the video, but the ribbon in the floral piece of fabric really nicely matches the actual striped fabric that is mated with. So I actually have already gifted out all of these bags except one. I'm holding on to that first bird fabric for my mom. She likes cardinals, and even though the larger bird print fabric is not a cardinal, the fabric with the birdhouses does have actually cardinals on its side. I went ahead and kept that one for my mom on this. So this one would have been the 4th bag in that last set. of 4. So, and I think it came out really cute too. And every bag, as I showed you here, is reversible. So that's a bonus. And I think I ended up with very, very, very little scraps left, like not enough to make anything out of the scraps. I'll have to find other scraps to match with it to even make a teeny tiny bag. So that's cool, because that kind of was the very goal from the beginning. So this in these bags that I'm going to show you now are actually the original prototype and the 3 bags that I batch processed second after the prototype. So, and the only difference on these bags, besides maybe a slight difference in size, is the pockets. So all the pockets are a little bit different on the bags. And I think out of these 4, this was my favorite pocket design right here. So there they are. I hope you like them. I hope that wherever and whenever you're at, you're having a great time. And thanks for watching.